All right, so I've been working on this for quite a while as we continue to see some of these clouds break up with that morning fog. Now, we pushed up into those 70 degrees as those clouds kind of cleared out, but it's set to return. Now, we've seen a lot of moisture hanging out across the entire Concho Valley, still pooling up in areas. That's what's helping us generate a lot of that fog overnight. But by tomorrow, we're talking about this bigger storm really pushing through. In fact, we're looking at that temperature change over the last 24 hours, letting us know there's a lot of potential energy, a lot of juice for this storm to pick up and kick off to the west of us as it makes its way east. So if we're doing holiday travel, let's be pretty careful, take our time. In fact, take it into consideration. Right now, the temperatures only dropped about 10 degrees yesterday from those 60s down into those 50s. Now today, we made a pretty good jump, about 15 degrees up into those 70s. 3 days away from Christmas, that's pretty warm, even from parts where I'm from, up in Wyoming, and that's exactly where they're at. They're up in those 50s, believe it or not. 70 here in San Angelo is a good combination of lower 60s, mid 60s, and low 70s, and getting a good idea of those dew points across the entire region. Now we're hanging out in those 50s, so we're about a good 19 degrees away, a good 20-degree spread, almost high pressure levels of temperature degree variation, but the relative humidity indices are holding strong at half. Now they're going to increase as we start to make our way towards the evening, and if not, by tomorrow as that storm starts to make its approach. It's going to be pulling a lot of moisture up from the south. We're going to see a pretty gusty day before that storm makes its way through. Steven's going to definitely be tracking all of it, as well as Santa, believe it or not, as he starts to make his way in. Now with those temperatures, we're still holding strong. Remember, we're going to get closer to those dew points, but when we look at the rest of the nation, we're seeing areas like Colorado, Wyoming, all the way up into Montana, holding strong at 57 degrees as this storm finally starts to make its way from the west across the four corners. And it's already dumped rounds of rain and could dump up to 18 inches of snow near the Rockies as it starts to make its way over the Sierra Madres. We're going to continue to see waves of moisture move in across the east as that dry air starts to push in. But look off the west coast of Portland. That's another round of moisture that could be even stronger than this one right now as we continue to see some of those freezing temperatures return by about Christmas Eve. The upper level pattern giving us a hard time as we see that storm finally combine with that other storm moving across Canada into a large trough. Now watch around Nebraska, Colorado. It's going to cut off and it's going to stay there for about 4 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Look at the winds over San Angelo from the northwest. These are freezing temperatures. This storm is absolutely huge as it makes its way towards Chicago, and right behind it, seeing strong ridging pushing all the way up into Idaho, and right behind it, that is our next storm that we are looking at as we continue to see it about a good 140 hours out. Now, right now, that storm is finally making its way offshore, pushing its way across California. Right now, it's pummeling Arizona. It's going to make its way across New Mexico, start dumping a lot of snow across Wyoming and Colorado as it starts to combine with that other storm system. Now we're getting a good idea of how it's going to continue to travel as it makes its way east, combining again with that other snowstorm as it makes its way across Montana. By the time it gets here Saturday afternoon, that's going to be a good round real quick, and Steven's going to have his eye on it. By the time Saturday evening rolls around, there goes our storm, and then it clears out, and look how cold it gets for Christmas Eve as we can see those clear skies and some of those freezing temperatures carry well into Monday. So tonight, again, dropping back down into those lower 50s. Still a good opportunity to see some foggy conditions under those calm skies. But by tomorrow, around the afternoon, we're going to see that cloud cover really build in, and that storm is going to push through, and it's going to be pretty windy. So let's tie down our holiday decorations. And then as we start to make our way towards the end of that holiday weekend, we're still going to be holding pretty strong in those 50s, believe it or not. Those colder temperatures are definitely here, and we're going to continue to hold on to those lower freezing temperatures as that's where we're going to stay for at least another 7 to 10 days. Stay tuned. Well, more after the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.